Welcome to the Bachelor Breakdown, where we break down the game of life.
Especially the games that men play.
I'm your girl, Erica.
I'm Ashley. Let's break it down.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Bachelor Breakdown. Hi, guys. So today we have a really fun topic, and we try to bring topics that we're experiencing on the daily. And so the title of this show is Don't Cry for Me. And what we mean by that is if you're single and you have married friends, or just people that are around you that try to make you feel sad or guilty about being lonely, or they have this perception that because you are single, you must be miserable, you must be lonely, which for some people might be the case, but for a lot of people like myself is far from the case. There's a
Right.
lot of people that are single and thriving. So that's what today's conversation is all about. That's what we titled it, Don't Cry for Me.
Yes.
We're all good. So let's get started. We kind of talked about this yesterday when we had dinner.
So Eric and I, we have a weekly date.
Yes. Yes.
Preferably on Wednesdays.
Yes. Early.
And we love an early dinner. Like
An
it's
early
nothing
dinner.
like an early dinner. So I'm like doing
Nothing.
this. Oh, my hair is a little crazy right now.
My hair is just pulled back. I look like a little boy today.
No,
It
you
is
don't.
what it is.
But so yeah, I'll text, or Erica text me, do you want to go for early dinner?
Mhm.
I'm like, yes, because
Yes,
for
please.
me, an early dinner, I'm home by 6 and I'm in the
Yes.
bed by 7:30,
Great.
8. And then I have the evening to just relax from
Yeah.
my day. And there's
Right?
nothing better for me.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Same.
So yesterday at our dinner, we were talking, and Erica, you
Mhm.
mentioned someone that that
Yes.
is married
Mhm.
that said to you,
Mhm.
I'm so sorry. What did she say? I'm so sorry that you're single.
She's like,
I feel so sorry for you.
I'm so sorry. Like, it was kind of almost like a conversation, like, you're the last one we would think that would not be married. And I'm so sorry,
Mhm.
and I'm like, okay.
Okay, so
I
in
know how
my
to take that
so in my
because
experience,
I'm great.
we're fine. We're thriving and abundant over here. Um, but
I'm
in
good.
my experience, the play, like, this is what people hit you with in life. When you are living life on your own terms and they are not, they
Yeah.
always try to project what they're actually
Probably what they're.
experiencing onto you. So if this woman who's married, so happily married, and
Mhm.
you know is thriving in her life, for you to
Mhm.
be her friend and to say, like, I feel so sorry for you, like, it's
Mhm.
like
No,
that
I'm good.
immediately is a projection. And I think
Yeah.
that's what people need to understand. Like,
Mhm.
people are trying to play you in life when they judge you, or
Yes.
project onto you, or give advice when it's unsolicited. Like,
Mhm.
anything that feels like not really, like, it can feel like an attack, but it doesn't always have to feel like an attack.
Yeah.
Anything that feels like that is a projection of what
Yeah.
they're experiencing. And what
Anything that
I'm
makes you go like,
mm,
just
yeah,
double check it.
that is totally a projection, because I'm sure I know you, and there's
Yeah.
nothing about you that reads
Depressed.
depressed, lonely, sad. Like, I can't keep up
Oh
with you.
my
You
god.
are
No.
thriving. You know what I'm
And
saying?
and truthfully, it's so funny because, I had this conversation with myself after she said that. And I was like, well, maybe I need to really like slow down and make time for a partner. Maybe I really need to do it because you start questioning yourself when everyone else is questioning you, like, well, something must be wrong. Like, why? So I was like, well, maybe I need to calm down. Then I was like, I don't want to. And when I try to like push myself to date someone, I mean, it takes a lot because I think about how peaceful this life is that I have cultivated for myself.
Mhm.
Like, I have truly made this perfect ecosystem
Mhm.
for myself that helps me thrive, right? It
Mhm.
helps me with my growth and the stresses that I deal with and everything. And when I think about a relationship, it gives me anxiety. And I
Yeah.
know that's probably not the best reaction, but it gives me anxiety because to be in a relationship means, and I'm going to sound kind of like an asshole in this, I got to consider someone else's feelings. I got to consider someone else's time. And I'm busy. Like my days are so full. I'm exhausted when I hit the
Mhm.
table.
Mhm.
So not that I don't want to consider someone else's, because when I'm in a relationship, I can't help that. I tend to
Right.
give too much,
Right.
and then I feel like I get taken advantage of because I give too much, because I care so much. So I'm like, if I'm going to put myself in that pocket, you got to be a hell of a catch, meaning you have to make my life better. So
Yeah.
I just don't want someone just to say, I want someone. You got to be great.
I actually told someone that. Like, I was talking to someone and they were like, do you want to be married and do you want to have more kids? And I was like, no. I was like, in order for me to be in a relationship, you would have to be something kind of
Mhm.
wonderful. Like, you would
Yes.
have to be
Yes.
Mr. Wonderful. And I'm
Yes.
talking about, like, I have a friend, shout out to Julie, who listens to our podcast every month. I love
Oh,
you
yay.
so much.
Go,
We were
Julie.
texting yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm listening to the motherhood episode," and she was like, "You hit it on the head. Like, unless I feel safe with someone, I can't. I can't do it. Like,
Mm-mm.
and honestly, like most
No.
people don't feel safe within themselves. You know what I'm
No.
saying? So how
No.
can they create an environment that is safe if they don't feel safe within themselves? And I can not teach someone how to feel safe within themselves. Like, that's work that
No.
you have to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the judgment that women are getting for choosing to be single nowadays
Mhm.
is, for me, incomprehensible, because
Yes. We're
it
choosing peace.
we're choo- and a man always wants you to be his peace. No, be your own
No.
damn peace and come in
No.
peaceful, and I come in peaceful, and then it's a
Yes.
vibe. You know what I'm saying? But like,
It is.
I can't be your peace. You have to be your own damn peace, because
I
what people
can't.
don't understand is that being someone else's peace,
Mhm.
what it really means is tolerating a lot of fucking bullshit from them, because they're
Exactly.
so disruptive and chaotic that when they come into your life and they have all of these unhealthy behaviors, they expect you,
Mhm.
excuse me, they expect you to just tolerate it. No.
No.
No, no,
No.
no, no, no. And if
No.
you say something like, "I don't care for this," or "This makes me feel a certain way," like, then you're not being peaceful. And it's like,
No.
"No. No, no, no.
No.
I am
No.
peaceful." Baby, when I'm in my
I
house
am
is my
so
safe
peaceful.
space.
Yes.
And it
Which
wasn't
is
always
why I don't invite many people over. I
right.
don't do guests.
No.
If you are a guest over here, then you must be special. Because it's my safe space, like you said,
It's
and I
my
don't want
sanctuary. Yes.
any bad energy in here.
No, my
I
house
just don't.
is my sanctuary. And when you think about, like, being single now, I all the things that I used to have to, like, worry about or think about or process or just be on scanning for when I was in a relationship, I don't have to do that anymore. Like,
Mm-mm.
I don't have to worry about, what am I cooking for dinner? If I
Mm-mm.
cook, I'll cook. If I don't, I will order food.
My
That's
fridge is
not a
kinda
problem.
empty.
Same. Same.
It's
I go
kinda
to the
empty.
grocery store on an as needed basis.
Exactly.
My bathroom, like, I keep a clean house, you guys, do not judge me. But, like, right now, it's probably like makeup sitting on my counter. I don't have to worry about putting shit away. Like, there's clothes on my closet floor. I'll pick them up when I'm ready to wash. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I used to walk on eggshells, and when I was engaged, I walked on eggshells. Like,
Oh, that's the worst
if I didn't
feeling.
pick up my phone, like, when
Yeah.
when they called, like, it was like, "Oh shit, they called." Like, I
That's
just,
the worst
you know
feeling.
what I'm saying? It's like, I have to consider someone else. Like, how was your day? And, like, really be
Mhm.
invested in, wanna know, like, and then, like, be ready for them to, like, emotionally dump about how their day was, or, like, it's just,
Mhm.
like, all the investments that you make when you're in a relationship, if you're not getting a return on them, like, that shit
Mm-mm.
is draining. It's like it's like
So
that
draining.
analogy when they compare, like, it to a bank account. Like, are they
Mhm.
making deposits or are they making withdrawals? And if there's
Mhm.
not balance, like, that shit gets out of, you
It
can
gets
be
out of
negative and depleted. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Well, it's kinda like what we spoke about at dinner, and I think you kind of felt the same way I did, and, I haven't dated ooh, I don't know if I need to put this out there. It's been a while.
Just,
Maybe
it's been a while. Just
well,
say
it's been yeah, it's been a while, and the thing is, like, every time I'm like, because I can asked out. I don't want you guys to think like I think people have this image of single women
They
that we
do.
don't get asked
They
out. Like
do.
I get
Yeah.
asked out. Don't think your girls over here trying
Baby,
to
it's
get
a
attention.
hotline. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like, you know what I mean? Like don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to sound like conceited, but don't get it twisted. Like we're not over here in the corner
We're not
rocking.
in the
It's
corner
not like
rocking.
that.
We're not like balled up in a corner and like, oh, nobody wants us. No, they do. It's
No, and
yeah.
don't get me twisted today looking like a little boy with my hair pulled back, okay? This is just a moment. We always can't be on. We can't always be on.
But you still look good.
But
It's fine.
oh, thank you, thank you. But the thing is that I was telling you, Ashley, at dinner, I said every time I try to consider kind of putting my toe back in the pool and just seeing because I might see meet someone. I meet a lot of really nice guys, right?
Mhm.
I'm always like really quick to be like, "Ugh, no, and I back out really quick. I'm like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And I was like, well, maybe I have like a commitment issue or whatever. And that's not it. And I
No.
told you, and I hit the nail on the head. It's not a commitment issue.
Mm-mm.
It's like I said, the point that I said earlier, I have done so much work on myself and also creating it and cultivating a space in my home where I feel safe.
Mhm.
And I am so fearful of investing time in someone and it be the wrong person. And then I look up and I've invested all this time for me. And when I make an investment, it's really hard for me to be like, okay, like I'm just going to walk away with no return. It's
Mhm.
so hard, I think, as
It's so
women,
hard for women to do
right?
that.
When
It's
you've
like it's
invested
like
so
Beyonce's
much,
song, like, her song "Ring
right?
the Alarm" is like, "I've been doing this" you know that Beyonce song, "Ring the
Oh, I
Alarm"?
know, but I don't really know the lyrics. What does
It's
she
like,
say?
"Ring the alarm, I've been through this too long, I'll be damned if
Mhm.
I see another on your arm."
And that's the
That's
thing.
the sentiment that a lot of women have, and it's like, "I've invested so
Yes.
much in this relationship, I'm not just gonna walk away from somebody else to benefit." But here's the
And
thing that
that's the
women don't know,
problem.
and this is what you need to look up. If you are listening to this, research sunk cost. Because in school, when I was in
Mhm.
business school, this is what I learned. And I had never, like,
Yep.
this made everything click for me.
Preach,
We
Ashley.
learned about sunk costs, and what they are
Yes.
the investments that businesses make
Uh-huh.
that they can never get a return on. Like, they're never going to get their money back. They're never going
No.
to get what they spent on these investments back.
Mhm.
It's just,
Mhm.
it's like a dead cost. And they have
Yep.
to eat these sunk costs
Lost.
and move on, cut that portion of the business and move on to something more profitable, right? They just have to
Mhm.
accept that they lost this money.
Yes. Yes.
And like, it was so funny because one of my cohort members, the professor posed the question. He was like, "What is an example of a sunk cost that you can think of?" And this guy raised his hand and he was like, "A relationship." And we fell out, but it was so
It's so
true.
true.
It's so
It's
true. Your
true.
relationships, you will have many relationships and friendships that will be sunk cost. You will
Mhm.
invest tons of time and energy
Mhm.
and physical and emotional labor and hell, money into
Mhm.
relationships that will not go anywhere. And instead
No.
of investing more, once you realize like this isn't going anywhere, instead of investing more trying to make it something that works, just pull out.
Mhm.
Just like
Just pull
let it go.
out. I
Just
know.
accept that that shit is not going to
It's
work
not
and move
working.
on.
But it's so hard, I think, for a lot of women, and that's why you have so many women that stay and really try to
And
make things
really
work
awful
and work
relationships.
things out
Yeah.
because of that investment. And so I know myself, like when I'm committed, I'm like a horse with blinders,
Mhm.
I am committed. And I'm just so fearful of letting myself get to that point with someone and then losing all my
Invest. Yeah.
right, my investment. So I, not to say that I don't want to do that with someone. I just know I'm going to know when it's the right person. They just haven't come yet.
Right. And here's the thing. Here's another thing. And this goes back to the play, like people projecting their feelings about you,
Yes.
about like what they're experiencing onto you,
Mhm.
right? Because
Mhm.
this woman that is your friend that's
Mhm.
married with 4 kids that aren't hers told
Mhm.
you that she felt sorry that you were single.
Mhm.
And it's like,
Mhm.
but nothing,
Sometimes, but
nothing.
actually, don't you
What?
think that sometimes when people do that, they're projecting, but it's really they might want what you have?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that everyone wants what I'm just saying, like, sometimes I think when people do
Yes.
that, I think they kind of are like, "Wow, like, you do have all your time to
I have
yourself.
to make you
You
feel bad
do."
about your choice so that I can feel
Yeah,
better about mine. I have
about
a friend
mine.
that did this to me all the time, and I didn't realize it until that friendship ended, that that's what
Mhm.
she was doing. Like, I
Yes.
wasn't married, she was,
Uh-huh.
and she would say shit like, "Well, you don't understand you're not married." Oh, girl, that's their number one thing they like to say. "You don't
I hate when
understand.
people say that.
You
I'm
don't
just like,
understand you're not
"Okay."
married," and I'm like, "No, I don't understand the level of suffering that you're willing to tolerate to be married. I don't understand that, and if that means that I
No,
never get married, I'm okay with that
I'm
because I
fine with
am
it.
not willing to suffer just to
No,
say that I am somebody's MRS. I
no,
agree. That's a title I never have to have. PA
no.
like, PhD, I want that. I got an
Okay,
MBA, like, I got my
right?
like, PhD, I'm willing to suffer for that because that shit is mine, but MRS, I'm not willing to fucking
You're
settle for
good.
that because
No.
you think that that's better than not being married? This
Yes.
is 2024, baby. I don't need that to survive. Not
No.
today. Like 50
Not
years
today.
ago, yes, you needed to be married in order to
Mhm,
survive and live a okay life. But not
mhm. That was
today.
your collateral
That was your
then.
collateral. But like now people like they wish that they had your liberties and your freedom to choose. Like I get up
Mhm.
every day and choose what the fuck I want to do.
Every
And
day.
I don't have to worry about pleasing a man. I don't.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And it's
Only
like,
thing I have to do is the meetings and my work, and once I get that done,
yeah, what
free
was
for all.
required of my kids, but that's it. Like
Mhm.
that's other than that, I choose my life. Like I
Yeah.
choose my experiences. And a
Mhm.
lot of people who want what you have want to make you feel bad about what you have.
Mhm.
And they project, like I said, they're projecting their misery onto you because here's what I know.
Mhm.
Happy people, and I will say this of myself,
Mhm.
happy people don't project onto you or try to make anyone else feel bad, like,
Mm-mm.
about anything. Like, I'm not
You're right.
judging anybody. I'm not making rude comments. I'm not trying to
Mm-mm.
discredit your experience. If
No.
I'm
I'm not
never
looking
gonna
at someone side-eyed. I'm not doing that.
I'm not gonna look at my married friends and say, "Mm,
Mhm.
so
Honestly,
I feel
Ashley,
so bad for you that you have to cook for your husband every night. I feel so bad." I would never
no,
fucking say that to anybody.
or that you're raising, 4 other kids. Like, I
I would
don't care,
never say that, "Oh, those kids
Ashley,
aren't yours. I'm so sorry." I would
but
never say
Ashley,
that.
this is might sound conceited what I'm gonna say, but I don't care enough.
I don't.
And I don't mean that. I mean, like, I care about my friends, and I care about just people and humanity in general, but I don't care enough to get into your business.
No.
Unless you come to me and ask for my advice, then I will think in I'll be strategic about what my advice when I give, but guess what? I'm over here dealing with my own stuff and doing my own thing and living my own life. Like, I don't have the energy to be concerned about what Susie and John are doing. I don't care what Susie and John are doing.
And
I don't care.
I'm wishing everybody the best. Like,
Exactly.
you in your life, I'm living my life, and when we come together, it's a time of, like, connection and celebration
Yes.
and, like, conversation, and I'm not thinking like, "Oh, I need to tell you that I feel so sorry for you."
I don't,
I would
yeah.
never do that. Happy people are
Yeah.
not judging you.
No, no,
You
no.
can always tell a miserable person by what they say to you.
Oh, yeah. Or when you're, like, out and about, if a woman gives me, like, a nasty look or this or, like, they think you think too much of yourself, I'm like, "Ooh, I must be really thriving, and I feel
Listen,
sorry for you."
she sees the light.
And she sees the
She
light. I
sees
was
the
like, "You just let
light.
me know it's shining bright."
She's jealous of the light, baby.
I was like, "It must be good tonight. Let me repeat this outfit." But what people don't understand is, like you said, Ashley, when they give you that negativity,
Yeah,
they think they're winning and trying to suppress or hurt you or dim your light. And I'm like, sweetheart, you're actually making me feel sorry for you.
yeah.
That I don't understand. That's why I'm always like, there's no need to be mean or
No,
jealous or hateful towards anyone.
no, no, and
Just
that's
focus on yourself. Use
and,
that
like,
energy for yourself.
this in our scouting report, like,
Hmm.
in our own experience, like, our lived experience supports
Yes.
that we've both been in relationships, like,
Hmm.
for years, like, long-term relationships.
7 years, 4 years.
It's too long
Too
too
long.
long for me, okay? I don't even wanna say because
Too
it's
long.
too long for me.
Yeah.
Um, but from my own lived experience, I can say I am much happier being single than I was in a relationship. Like, in my relationship, I felt so alone. I
I know.
felt, again, like I had to walk on eggshells. Like I was always
Mhm.
having to prove my worth and
Yeah.
my value. And
It was
now
horrible, yeah, when I
I
think
don't have
about
to
it.
do any of that. Okay, there's this video of Whoopi. She was doing an
Mm.
interview on, I don't know who, I don't even
Oh, that
remember.
was the best. Yes,
When she was, he asked her, like, because she's single, she's been married I think 2 or 3 times, and he was like, would you ever get married again? And she was like, no, like I don't have the time. Like, again, what you were saying, like when you're in a relationship, you have to care, you have to be invested. She was like, and I don't have time for that. Like, I have a daughter, I have a son-in-law, I have grandkids, I have a career. And she was like, I don't have the time to care
I don't
about
have
somebody
time.
else. And she was like, and society wants us to be partnered so badly. And she was like, because if not, then if you sleep with someone, then you're considered a whore, or all these things. And she was
Mhm.
like, it's just not what I want. My life is so full. I don't need that.
No,
She was
you
like,
don't need it.
and what the best part of it was, she was like, you get together from time to time with someone and you have a hit and run, and then they leave and they're not stuck in your house. And I'm like, yes, Whoopi. That's the
Whoopi
energy.
knows.
Whoopi knows. And she was so
Yes,
unapologetic about it. And that's
I
what I
love
love.
that.
Because from her own, like, people like to discredit or diminish one's lived experience. And like,
Yeah.
no, I know from my experience, this is what I like. Like,
Mhm,
I dated someone briefly,
mhm.
and I realized, like, oh no, this isn't for me. Because what you
Yeah,
realize
yeah.
especially when you're older, is that
Mhm.
everyone has something, right? Like,
Yes,
everyone has
yes.
their own story, everyone has their own something. And it's
Yeah,
like,
everyone.
at my big age, I'm not willing to to deal with certain things
No.
in your story. And that doesn't make
Mm-mm.
you a bad person, that doesn't make you unworthy, that doesn't mean you won't be
Mhm.
partnered with somebody else,
Yeah.
but it won't be me, because there
No,
are
no, no.
some things that I am not interested in
Mm-mm.
investing in.
No.
And once you realize, like, once you have done work on yourself and you want healthy relationship, and you realize
Mhm.
what you are willing to tolerate and you're not willing to
Not
tolerate, it makes
willing to
it that
tolerate.
much easier to be like, nope, no,
No,
thank
no,
you.
no, no.
This isn't
Especially
this isn't going to
mm,
work for me.
no,
And to be a woman and say, no, this isn't going to work for me,
no, no.
and stand on that,
And
is
that's great
incredible, because
because
women
yeah,
aren't taught that. We're taught to just be like, "Oh,
no.
we can care for
Well
you, we can nurture you, we can do
Well,
this.
women
You're supposed
were
to be
also
patient."
taught
No.
actually, we're also taught as women that we should be sitting there waiting to be chosen. There is this, like, thing about being chosen. If you have the
Mm-mm.
MRS, you have been chosen.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? It's like, no. Like, women have to understand, I think this was a big thing for me. I think, like, earlier when I started to dating, I'd almost let the guys pick me, rather than really saying, like, "Is this someone I real" you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think you have to kind of switch your thinking and really say, okay, does he align with how I see my life?
Mhm.
Does his personality work with mine? Do
Mhm.
we interact? Do we have the same interests? How are his friends? Because a big thing for me too is that whoever I date, I have to enjoy your friends. And if
Yeah.
I don't, I'm sorry. It's a no
Right.
because I can't do it. So
Right.
it's just like, I think for me, I had to really switch the flip and say, okay, that's great. You're choosing me, but do I choose you?
Right.
And I think once you change that thinking, um, it helps because I look back at, some of my relationships and, it's kind of like an out of body experience where I'm looking
Mhm.
at myself and I feel it's like I don't know that girl anymore. I feel sad for her. And I'm like, "Oh, the stuff that I tolerated and put up with and that walking on eggshells." Like,
Yeah.
I had one ex actually where it was like I just never knew what would, you know, make him upset. He
Who
was
was
an
walking in the,
actor.
and you never know who was
Yeah,
walking in the door. Yeah.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, he was an actor, and so one night, we went to a red carpet and had the best time. And then he gets the photos the next day from like the Getty Images and his agent and stuff. And he was livid with me. I was like the worst person in the world because a piece of his collar was up.
Stop.
And it was my fault that I didn't catch that on the red carpet. And that ruined his photos. It ruined his day. It ruined everything. It just ruined everything.
Which is another projection. You know what
And
I'm
I'm like,
saying?
I'm like, Lord have mercy. It's just like any and everything was my fault. It
Right.
didn't matter if it rained when he was supposed to shoot. Somehow I did a chant, he thought, to the gods to tell him to rain. It was that kind of a
Yeah.
situation, you know. And when you look back at it, I was like, oh, it's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you
just to
know?
think I have those moments too where I think about what I tolerated and I'm like, "Oh my," and I send that version of me love because
Ah,
I
yes,
that's
yes.
not me who anymore, and I'm so thankful.
Mhm.
And I'm also, like, thankful of, like, the community that I have because
Mhm.
what another reason why, and this is why what people don't understand about being single is that when you
Mhm.
have a great community of people around you,
People,
it
they
makes
keep
all the
you.
difference. They
Yes.
like hold space for you and they do make you
Mhm.
feel safe and they allow you to grow into who you were meant to be, who you always were
Yes.
before whatever happened to you, right? Before you had these
Mhm.
negative experiences.
Mhm.
And my friends and my community and my family, they have loved every version of me. And that's how
Mhm.
you know. Like that's how you know
Yeah.
you have a real partner in a man, in a woman, in a friend, in family. Like that's how you know you have real partners
Yeah,
is if they've loved every version of you. You've
100%.
never had to be anything or anyone other than yourself. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Whether you're on or not
Oh,
on or
right, and you don't have to and they don't have to walk on eggshells for you, and you don't have to walk on eggshells with them, but they've like and I think back to old versions of me, and I'm like, "Oh god, like, did I
yeah.
even love that version of me?" And all these other people did, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that
Mhm.
helps too in being single, is like, I have a community that
Yes. Such a
love
strong community.
the shit out of me, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
hold me accountable, and
Mhm.
brighten my life and make me feel safe. So
Mhm.
that's huge too. When like if you're not like if you're not single and you don't have a community,
You can be isolated,
you can,
and that's dangerous.
yeah, like if you're partnered and you don't have a community, it makes your partnership that much
But, not
harder to
only
build
that, even
too.
if you have a great partner, I think if you don't have a community, you're putting, in my opinion, too much stress on that partner
Yes.
because that's your everything. You have
Yes.
no outlet other than this person,
Yep.
and that's a lot of pressure for anyone,
It's too much
in my
pressure.
opinion. Great relationship or not, it's
Yeah.
just that's a lot, in my opinion.
Yes. And so I think like in for our in-game adjustments,
Mhm,
if you are single and you are getting all of this slack from people, your family, your friends, your married
mhm,
friends,
mhm,
I think one thing you have to realize is that whatever they're saying to you to try to discredit your experience or push you into a relationship, trying to marry you off, trying to get you to have kids, I think what you have to realize is that whatever they're doing is a projection of what they feel. Like if they feel
mhm,
they are not worthy or valuable if they're not married, that's their shit. It's not yours. So don't
mhm,
take any of that on. You know what I'm saying?
mm-mm.
Like don't inherit that from them. Don't take that. What is the word? I'm trying
No.
to figure out the word.
Well,
Like it's
yeah,
like
just don't absorb it. Don't
yeah,
let
don't
it,
absorb
like
that. Don't absorb
yeah,
that.
don't take
Mm-mm.
it.
No.
So, yeah.
And like stay in your community. And if you're married and you are unhappy,
Mhm.
figure out a way to get out of your fucking marriage and stop trying to
Yeah,
shit on other people that are single because we are single
exactly.
and thriving out
Thriving.
here. Like
We're doing great.
literally, we're doing great.
We're doing
Don't
so good.
don't dump your marital issues on your single
No.
friends because we are
No.
fine out here.
Yeah,
Don't
and
feel sorry
another
for us.
thing, yes, and another thing, don't come for us and say, "You're single and you're bitter." No, we're not, and another thing I'll just say is that, once again, we believe in marriage. We think it's a great and a beautiful thing when
Yeah.
you can find the right person where you guys vibe together. There's a mutual respect and
Mhm.
interest that you have. I think that is the most beautiful thing and one of the best gifts that you can have in a lifetime. So
Mhm.
we're not crapping or shitting on marriage. We wanna
No.
make that clear.
Yeah.
We're saying if it is not right, if you are forcing it, don't do it. Life is too short.
Mhm.
Live your life. Don't let other people's projections or thoughts or opinions change your trajectory of what God has planned for you because you don't know.
You don't know.
You could force something that's not right and miss out on something that would have been the best blessing in your entire life.
Yep.
Who knows what it is, but you
Right.
just have to trust to stay in that pocket until the time is right.
Yep.
Because if you force it, it's like my grandma used to say, if you lift rocks looking for stuff, you find roly polies.
Mm.
We don't want roly
We
polies.
don't.
We don't.
I don't like
So
those.
don't go searching. Focus on you,
Okay.
live your life, you know, continue to nourish those good relationships and
Yeah,
friendships in your life. Live, travel, get out, meet people. It'll happen.
it'll happen. And don't worry about what they think because
No,
it doesn't matter. No.
no,
Well,
no.
thank you for joining us for another
Yeah.
episode. Until next month, do you be you. We love
Love
you.
you. Bye.